Building the AI workflow is only part of the job. If in the end, the only thing that you have is a JSON or a giant spreadsheet, is like writing a book and handing people a pile of loose papers. A good custom UI is what turns your automation from a one-off project into a tool that you can use every day. It's where you highlight the insights that matter, cut out the noise, and make it clear enough to even share with others. And the best part, with today's AI tools, spinning custom UI is way easier than before. In this video, I'll show you how I built one for my YouTube subscriptions, AI automation, and how you can build something similar for yourself. Okay, so what are the prerequisites for you to start? First of all, you need to have some coding knowledge, because sometimes model can produce really shitty results and you need to understand when it's good or bad. Then we need some data. So we'll use Airtable. In my case, I have data from a YouTube workflow that I made in a previous video. You can see it in the description down below. So I have data about YouTube videos and data about insights. And then you'll need an AI editor like Cursor, VS Code or Windsurf. And you probably need a pro subscription or any kind of a paid subscription, because you'll use agent mode and it uses a lot of tokens. And I recommend you to use Claude Sonnet model, which I think at this point is the best coding model. And it also usually included in paid plans. The tech stack that we'll use is very common. We'll use Vite with React and shacdn. Then you need to initialize your Git repository. And basically, all the information that you need for starting your project is in this page, but I show you how we can set up it really easily with AI. The example that I show you is non-deterministic. It means that if I start it all over again, we'll get to a different result. So I'll show you what I did in retrospective. But before that, I think there are a couple of tips that you need to know before starting your vibe-coded project. First, always use Git, because when you vibe code and you use agents, you need to have commits. You need to have points to which you can return to if something bad happens to your code base. Also, try to understand the code that AI produces. I know it's difficult. Sometimes it can change like 5 files and you can click accept and it's okay. But sometimes you can be in a deadlock where AI cannot help and you need to go and understand your code base. And when your vibe coded project is big enough, it's difficult to do. So try to understand it at least a bit. Also, when you use APIs, AI doesn't know everything. Sometimes API change. And when this happens, you need to get your hands dirty. You need to go to API reference, search for things that you think might not work, understand it, maybe copy the text, paste it into the prompt, and then ask with this knowledge. Because, yeah, usually it can be a problem. Hi, it's me from future editing this video. I understood that I shoot a segment about setting up a boilerplate and it is too long. So yeah, to set up a boilerplate, I'll just link a prompt in the description and you'll be able to do it easily. So yeah, let's go to the main part. Okay, this is the UI that I built and I'm going to show you how I did it. So it has cards for every analyzed video. Here we have a summary, most important insights and action items. And for each card, there are insights like this: core insight, key quotes, and there are multiple for each video. When I started, I didn't know anything about Airtable API, and I just started with a simple prompt. So I gave it a little notion of what am I going to develop. And also I said that I have an Airtable database with videos that I parsed. And yeah, I want to start with just getting data from the Airtable. And yeah, it went through the process of installing all of the stuff that Airtable needs, fixes some issues. And yeah, as you can see, it built all of the foundations. And then it asked to configure all of the API keys. And yeah, I just went to this page and created the API keys Then, yeah, I picked a strategy where I store names of the table in n file. I don't know if it's a good strategy, but yeah, I just asked it, and it said that there are a few options, and I can store them. And then I'll show you the n file. Yeah, I have it here, like table for channels, table for process tracking, and AI insights. Then when I added those tables, it changed the code a bit. The next step was that I was asking it to just display all of the data in JSON format that I have in Airtable, so that then I can copy it and feed it to AI and then build UI based on that. So let me open this commit. Let's see on frontend what field has process tracking table, and it did all of the stuff. And as you can see here, I have the available fields, and I'll show you how it looked on UI. Yeah, something like that. Process tracking fields, and also sample info of the video. I just copied it, as you can see here, and just asked it to create a card and the whole UI, how it sees it best. And yeah, then my idea was that when I see the foundation, the first step, how AI created it, I'll just edit it to my liking. An important part of this prompt is that I asked, if needed, use and install appropriate shacdn components. Usually it tries to create its own components, and I want to use the library that we have, and yeah, it just makes it easier to customize it later. Okay, now it's installing all of the components. There was a problem that it started doing its own components. I stopped the execution and said like, oh no, okay, please use this component, and copy pasted the docs from shacdn website, components, card, just copy page, yeah, and pasted it here. You're right. Of course I'm right. And then, yeah, it went through it, and yeah, my UI was ready. I'll show it to you how it looked at that point. Let me restore to the main branch, and then let's go here. You see that I use Git to go back in time, and yeah, it's possible to do with every iteration. So for example, even if you have a lot of commits and then you don't like the result, you can go back and then start from scratch. So it's a really convenient way of doing it. And of course, if you are a developer, you know it. But if you are just vibe coding, I think probably it's something that you don't know and you need to do it. So let's see how first version of UI looked. Yeah, it was something like that. You see that it's good, but the UI of cards is not that great, and we don't have the insights drawer yet, and so there are some things that I can improve. So I said that it's a great start. I want a vertical feed instead, and then I added some things that I wanted to change in the card itself, and I also added a collapsible block that includes all of the summaries and the action steps. So yeah, also mentioned that it should use shacdn components where necessary. It did its thing, but there was some problem with the dependency that collapsible needed. I think, yeah, at some point it wasn't doing the right thing. I asked it to install it this way, and then we had it. So I said, okay, great, it's much closer. Then we had it. Let's look at the result that we had there. Improved inline card. Let's see it. Yeah, so it's a bit better. We have this ability to collapse and see the data here. Okay, then I also asked it to edit some more stuff, and it did it. And then I wanted to create a drawer, the insights drawer that has all of the insights for each video. And yeah, so I prompted it to do it. The component that I picked wasn't the right one, and the right component that I wanted to use in shacdn was used sheet component. So yeah, it used it, and then I asked it to output the the JSON of each insight into this drawer to see what data we are working with. So it did it. And then, as you can see, I just copied the JSON and said, come up with a great readable card design for each insight. For the video, I'll iterate then on it. So it took the JSON and started working on insights. And you can see, yeah, I think they were pretty good. So let's see how it looked at that time. So yeah, cards are a bit better. Insights, I think they were pretty great, so I even didn't ask about any changes. The only change that I asked is that I wanted them to be sorted by novelty. Here it is probably the version that already has this sorting. Then I also asked it to sort videos on main feed by time. You can see that there's one from August 25th, then from September 14th, and yeah, so it's not sorted correctly. It did it. Then I also asked it to do some other changes to the card. Let's see if I have it in this state. Yeah, I think it's a bit changed. And then I think I had a small pause in the development, and then when I returned, I didn't remember what I did, and then I knew that I still didn't like the sorting because it was sorting by the edit date and I wanted to sort it by the process date. So yeah, I asked it to look into the sorting mechanism. It did it. And then I asked like sorted by the process date, and yeah, it did it. Really, really simple. Then I had one more problem that I started noticing. The problem that it's loading all of the videos and all the insights all at once. And I didn't like it. So I asked it to fix it. I asked it to check how videos are loaded from Airtable, and I presume that it loaded them all at once. And I asked it to verify if it is like that. It did some analysis, and in the end it said that yes, it works like that. And it says that the current flow, the app start, load all videos and all insights, and they'll filter on them. It suggested another approach, and what I wanted: app start, load videos only, click insights, load insights only. I'll show you how it works. You can see that when I click insights, it's loading each insight separately. See, loading. Then I wanted to introduce pagination. It was a bit difficult because out of the box AI didn't know like how to deal with pagination. Like it kept loading all of the videos and then filtering through pagination. You see that I copy pasted the logs and said that something is not right, and I tried to fix it. Still didn't work. And then what I did is that at some point I just said that it was not right, and I needed to go back to a previous commit, and I think I reverted to this loading insights separately commit, and then just went to the AI documentation and searched something about list records or pagination. Yeah, I think it was list record. I just copied this page, pasted it here, and said like, do something with it. And as you can see, it's a long documentation. And then it said, okay, I understand, let's do it. And yeah, it worked. Yeah, you can see pagination works. The final touch was that I removed search functionality from it. This was the final UI for my table, yeah, with insights. So yeah, this was the process. So I think right now it's so easy to create custom UI for your n8n workflow. If you liked this video, please subscribe. You can also comment down below to say what you liked about this video or what you didn't like about this video. And yeah, subscribe, because I have a lot more videos coming on workflows, on n8n, on AI automation, and also vibe coding, some stuff for those automations and in general. So subscribe, and see you next time.